Mark. My name is Bree from Northland Marketing. How are you doing today? I spoke with you earlier, and as promised, here is your analysis. I wanted to get on here real quick to go through the websites of your competitors and show you personally what would be holding your website back and what you could do to get a website ranking on Google. I'm going to jump in and start going through what we see and where we think you would get the most value. I'm going to mainly be going over 3 things you could do today to really bring value to your company and start outranking your competitors online. I just want to briefly mention that your Facebook page says you are a printing service here. And right here it says those are the services you offer. So you might want to change that up a little bit. I would also put like direct examples of what you do in here. Kitchen remodeling, bathroom remodeling, painting, power washing, etc. Put those in here because when people scroll down, this is the first thing they look at, trying to figure out what you do, especially if this is incorrect, okay? Now, the first thing I want to go over is a Google search for home remodeling CT. We can see that they're running ads, as well as New Face here. Now, this is called the Map Pack, and the top 3 listed here are the ones that receive a lot of the work because they're super easy to find, and they're listed right away. The websites listed below here, these are called the organics, and the same things apply. You want to be on the front page and ideally within those top 3 positions to drive the maximum amount of traffic to your website. Let's talk about this first website here. Now we can see that it's a nice website. They have a good amount of content on here, but they don't have enough. Google likes to see a minimum of 1,500 words on here. So if you got 1,500 words on your website, you would at least be beating them out content-wise. Now the other thing that Google does is they actually come in and read the content. They're looking for keywords such as home remodeling CT, like we were looking at before, and they're looking for services in the locations that you serve. So having all of these in there is really important, and it's going to ensure that Google will find you. Now let's talk about why they were listed first. This is a paid program I use to research websites called Ahrefs. I went ahead and put them into here so you can see what you'd be up against. The second thing I want to go over is UR and DR ratings. These ratings are really important to you listing on Google. Now, a UR rating is a trust rating, meaning how much Google trusts your website, whereas a DR rating shows how powerful your website is in the eyes of Google. These are generally raised by backlinks. We can see that they have 575 backlinks coming from 187 websites. 157 of those websites are powerful. Now, a backlink refers to a link that points back to your website. In Google's eyes, it's kind of like a popularity contest. A good example of this would be if a blog website wrote an article about home remodeling companies, and they listed your website URL as a company they recommended. That would be one backlink. I want to call attention to organic keywords. These are keywords in the content that I was talking about before. For example, Connecticut home renovation. There's approximately 90 people Googling that every single month, and they're in roughly first place. Home remodeling CT, the one we were looking at before, there's approximately 70 people searching for that a month. Again, they're in second. Connecticut remodeling contractors, there's roughly 70 people searching. Kitchen remodeling Fairfield, there's 40 people just for Fairfield. Remodeling contractors CT, it's roughly 40 people. Kitchen remodeling CT, there's roughly 90 people. I mean, you could just keep going. There's tons and tons of keywords and towns and the whole state as well. Depending on what you'd want to show up for, you could drive a ton of people to your website. But right now, by not having a website at all, people are not going to find you, period. They're just not finding you when they're searching for these things, right? So if you want to start getting more customers and start getting your name out there, you want to get a website out and you want to get it ranking for these keywords. The more people that find you, the more likely they are to call you and then become a client, all right? And in this video, we went over what we would do to get a website ranking up at the top for you. 1, through the home page and how we'd make sure there's 1,500 words on there. 2, through the UR and DR ratings and how we'd raise those with backlinks. And 3, the backlinks. We know what your competition has for them, so we beat them out by showing Google that you have more authority. And if we implemented these things, you could be on the front page of Google. I hope that this was helpful for you, and I'd really appreciate your feedback. Have a great night.